Andrew and Tristan Tate aren't creating a cult. They are presenting real scenarios with real life consequences that are making people think about the actions of their life. And when you make people think, it's extremely dangerous. So I think that they were conned and they got put in there unfairly. So yeah, it's kind of screwed up situation.
And is this like it's dangerous for like governments, or?
It's dangerous because you need to be running a narrative in order for the world to flow. And if anybody is disrupting your narrative, you can't have that. Yeah. Remember, you're not talking about somebody that gets 50 million views. You're talking about somebody that gets billions and billions of views every single month consistently. So,
and he's changing the way people think.
He's not changing how people think. That's the big fallacy in this entire scenario. He's making people think. Most people don't think. What is happening right now is a trigger of conversation, of reality check. It's like, okay, this is the narrative, but here's another narrative that just has been introduced that you guys have not been exposed to. Let's see what it says. And a lot of people have been gravitating to this narrative, and this dominant narrative is opposed to this narrative, so therefore it attacks it. It's War 101.
You think that's like the whole matrix system, breaking the matrix, and that to do that is it step one to get out the matrix is just think.
I mean, yeah, you have to use your head. You have to be able to pick up like I told you today, we were talking about the Great Wall of China and the discoveries and thoughts that I had when I was walking through the Wall of China.
I'll say that story. So Luke was recently in China, I guess, and you were at the Great Wall of China.
2019, yeah.
All right, 2019. And you said sometimes you have to use your own brain. So you're at the Great Wall of China and you realized that this wall, instead of it facing opposing to China, it was actually facing China.
Correct. So the defense mechanisms, instead of it being facing outside of China, which you're supposed to be guarding China, it was actually facing China as if China was attacking. And then you start doing some research and you start realizing that there was empires throughout those areas prior to the Chinese Empire that were known for their constructions and their buildings. And there's a potential theory as to the Great Wall of China actually belonging to ancient civilizations prior to that. But unless I had been there walking and been like, why is this pointing in the wrong direction? Yeah, I would have never actually gone out and evaluated that. So yeah, picking up your head, thinking and asking yourself, why do things work the way that they work?
Why is that?
Brother, people want to be told what to do. People love to be told what to do. You know why? Because when they're told what to do, they can no longer assume responsibility for the outcome. They'll be like, well, he told me what to do. It's his fault.
Yeah.
It's his fault. But when you have to assume responsibility for your thinking process, for your belief system, when something fails, you can't point at anybody except yourself. So people like to assume the thoughts and the systems and the beliefs of other people, because if those systems and thoughts and beliefs don't pan out, they can blame
I think that's like a problem, like we're in this whole, like, it's a system we put in schools, we got fear, we don't want to take accountability, real world, same thing, right? It's just a problem ground up.
Yeah, it's from the beginning all the way to the top.
Talking about that, recently, AI started to take over. You've seen it, I'm sure you've used it. Where do you think the world is going with AI? Because AI is scary.
AI is scary simply because it is already more capable than us in almost any way. It is kind of unbelievable to think. I was hiring some lawyers recently to evaluate a business proposal that I had of a structure that I wanted to create, and I wanted to figure out, is it plausible, right? Is this structure mechanism legit? Is it legal? Can I run it? And I hired 4 different lawyers, $5,000 each, 3-4 weeks of research. Each of them gave me a different conclusion about the same thing.
Yeah.
I asked ChatGPT, built it out, explained to it what I needed, fed it all 3 resources, told me all 3 resources were wrong. So then I go to a 4th guy that evaluates it. The guy was $50,000, like super high tier guy, said exactly what ChatGPT said. These are wrong for these reasons. This is the outcome. This is the conclusion. He's like, yeah, this is pretty accurate. Who wrote this? And I said, the robot. And he was shook.
The robot saved you $50,000.
Well, no, I paid the $15,000.
I could have saved it.
But it validated what the guy that charged $50,000 was saying. Is like, yeah, the other guys, no, that
was all rubbish.
This is wrong for this reason. This is wrong for this reason. You should be aware of this law. So imagine this in its infancy right now, how it's going to be in 20, 30 years when it's ultra developed. It's going to be unbelievable. So the people that are studying school right now for what, engineering?
Yeah.
I met a kid, he was sitting next to me in the mountains in Zermatt when we were snowboarding. And he's like, yeah, I got a 4.2 GPA in high school, like super proud of his degree, like high scores. He's like, I'm about to go to one of these private universities and study engineering. I'm like, okay, perfect. By the time you get done engineering, you get all your degrees, you're set. It's 8 years from now.
Yeah.
Will artificial intelligence replace your ability to be an engineer in 8 years? And he got mad, right? He got mad because I presented a plausible scenario as to why his career path was maybe not the best one. Maybe he should become a machine learning specialist or an engineer that understands how to utilize artificial intelligence to leverage their own things. But the problem is the school system right now is still so unadapted to what is going to take place in the future that people are going to be left behind. And I don't think a lot of the working class is going to be left behind. And what I mean by the working class is like the people that build factories and the farmers. I think these jobs are going to take a little bit longer to replace because you not only need software, you also need hardware in order to, make machines move. But with simple skills like, dude, like being an accountant or a lawyer or these things, a machine can learn that. And you can program artificial intelligence and you can have your own scripts that could literally study all the tax codes and build through a proper plan just as good as any person that went and studied a degree. Now imagine matching the top lawyer with the artificial intelligence systems. Like, you are in a really good situation, but what happens to the people that have no skills? That's the big question here, is like, how do you deal with 2 billion people that you don't need in the task force? That's the big question. So that's the scary part, is because you're gonna have a lot of people here walking around not doing anything. So we're gonna have 2 scenarios: the utopian possibility and the dystopian possibility.
What's that?
Which one would you like to know first, dystopian or utopian?
I'll go utopian. I've never heard this.
Okay, of course not, brother. You're getting original data sets with Luke Belmar. What do you think? My stuff is regurgitated. Come on. Anyways, utopia scenario, AI. We go into a Renaissance era where we begin to focus on skills like art, music, poetry, self-development, because we allow the artificial intelligence to do all the hard tasks that require skills like mathematics and engineering and science, things like that. We allow, the machine to operate that side. So we go into a Renaissance. That's the utopian scenario. If everything goes well, we enter a Da Vinci style era, right?
Okay.
The dystopian scenario is we don't adopt a lifestyle that is more soft skill based, and artificial intelligence replaces our hard skills and our ability to work, and we go into dystopian outcome where people in society breaks down.